How's it going? Welcome to Chats with Spencer. For interviews just like this one, full of fun and unique questions, subscribe. New videos every Tuesday and Friday. My guest this week is Swiss climber Petra Klingler. She will be representing Switzerland at the 2021 Tokyo Olympics in climbing. Petra is such a warm and kind person, and if you're not already a fan of hers, I know you will be by the end of this interview. Please go follow her on social media, make sure you cheer for her at the Olympics, and enjoy this interview with Petra. All right, Petra, thank you so much for joining me today. How are you doing?
I'm great, thank you. I had a hard training day with two trainings, morning and afternoon session. So it's getting late here in Switzerland, but I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm happy to be talking to you. I'm pretty new to the sport of climbing, so it's pretty crazy to be talking to a world-class climber. Can you just maybe tell us a bit about growing up, where you grew up, what kind of kid you were, and maybe just some of the things you're interested in? I know you were born into a family of climbers, so it's kind of natural that you went down that path. But just like the other side of that.
Yeah, as you say, I was born in a climbing family, so my parents and my grandparents already were climbers, mainly outdoor climbers. But actually, I didn't like climbing when I was younger.
Mhm.
Well, I probably liked it, but I didn't like to do it with my parents. I wanted to do my own thing. I always had my head telling me that I want to do my way. So already there, I was super stubborn. I always wanted to get what I wanted.
Mhm.
I'm was mainly interested actually, or I wanted to be a professional horseback rider.
Okay.
Horseback rider, yeah.
Yeah.
So I started really young with horseback riding with 4 years old, I think.
Mhm.
And at the same time, I also started to play the violin.
Okay.
So it was actually these two things which I did for a long time. I think both up till 16 years old,
Wow.
17
Okay.
years.
That's quite a
So a
long
long
time.
time. Yeah, I did tons of stuff actually as a kid. So I had a lot of energy, kind of nerve-wracking for my parents, just running around,
Mhm.
never calming down and wanting to do everything and everywhere, being part of everything. But I guess climbing always was somehow in me because I remember my grandma telling me all these stories about me climbing up some rocks
Mhm.
somewhere or up a ladder or just a brick wall or everywhere where I could.
Mhm.
And then my kindergarten teacher actually also told me like years afterwards that the main thing she remembers about me is me being on the tree throughout the whole break. So I was
Okay.
climbing onto the tree and I was bringing all my friends up onto the tree somehow. Yeah, that I would say I was quite a polysportive child.
Okay.
I also did some, oh, I don't know how you tell it in English, but like this gymnastic on the horse.
Interesting. Okay. Yeah, no, I'm not I can't think
So
of the name, but yeah, I
yeah,
think I know what you're
we
talking about.
call we call it voltish.
Okay.
I don't know if you similar, but I did that as well. I did some orienteering, so like running around with
Mhm.
the map in the hand,
Mhm.
which is a big sport in Switzerland actually. But somehow I always had climbing next to it, so
Mhm. Mhm.
it was a big part. And at some point, yeah, I guess everyone knows it. Time gets short. You have to go to school. Evenings get shorter. And I had to kind of decide which one I wanted to take or focus on.
Yes.
And it was, I guess, because of my friends in climbing, like Rebecca Stoltz and Natalie Berchi, like two of my best friends even now,
Mhm.
who we just were so close, and it was such a great spirit in climbing. I couldn't leave them.
Do you think there's a reality where you went down a different path with a different sport maybe? Could you see of yourself doing that?
yeah, I guess I could have gone down like horseback riding. I don't think I would have gone all the way with music,
Hmm.
but horseback riding even now is something I really like, and I definitely miss a lot. Kind
Okay.
of being around a horse and
Hmm.
animal, it calms me down. It's so nice to have this connection with a not human being. I love animals, so yeah, that would definitely have been a nice path as well.
And I just got to ask, do you keep up with the violin at all?
I still have one,
Okay.
and actually, my roommate now is also a violinist,
Hmm.
and he always asks me to play it in such a long time. Can't let go of it still. And it's a big part of my life. It's yeah, I like music. I also like classic music because I've played a lot of these pieces,
Hmm.
and I can imagine that I will someday pick up my violin again and just try to play it. Even though probably I have to put in earplugs because I can't even listen to myself.
All right, so Petra, you mentioned that you're really passionate about cooking and baking, and I'm just wondering, is there a story behind this love of working in the kitchen? Maybe like as a kid, were you always in the kitchen helping your parents, or is it just something maybe you developed later in life?
um, it definitely is something I've been doing for a long time now. So
Okay.
I remember cooking or baking my own birthday cake with 7 years old or something.
Okay.
Um, yeah, I think it was the area where I could be creative in a kind of way that calmed me down
Hmm.
because I was doing something, but it's not like physically tiring or well, it can be if you have to stir off my hand. It's a good exercise as well.
Hmm.
But for me, it's kind of the off pole. It's next to all the training. It's where I calm down.
Hmm.
I can relax really well, and in the end, I have a good end product. So
Hmm.
I have a
Hmm.
double benefit of it. And for sure, also with time and being a professional athlete, the whole nutrition theme got more and
Hmm.
more interesting as well. I wanted
Okay.
to learn what I or what is better for my body, which food I can digest better before trainings, which is better after, what benefits my regeneration. Um, all that stuff is so interesting, and I could combine it with my passion. So yeah, I dug in deeper and deeper. And then I started studying sports where
Hmm.
nutrition is a big part as
Hmm.
well. And so I could bring all these little bits and pieces together, which interested me. Yeah.
What are your some of your favorite things to cook or bake?
Oh, to cook, I really like doing homemade ravioli.
Oh, okay.
So that's something, yeah, it's kind of repetitive movement you do,
Hmm.
first kneading the dough and
Hmm.
then yeah, doing these little pockets. That's something, but long needs a lot of time. I love breakfast, so breakfast is kind of my thing. So I bake a lot of bread,
Okay.
and in Switzerland we have like the best bread, I would say. We call it Zopf. It's special bread where you kind of braid the kind of like braiding hair,
Okay.
but you do with the dough.
Mm.
So it looks also really nice. And it's kind of a special thing we often eat on Sundays.
Okay.
So yeah, I try to if I have time, Sunday off, I would bake one of these breads and we would eat them all together, kind of brunch
Mm.
with my teammates or my roommates. So I really love these kind of days.
What's your feeling, Petra, on team sports? Are you like you enjoy them, or are you more of the individual sports? Because I've had some mixed answers from climbers, and it's kind of funny hearing.
I would say I'm more like a single
Mm.
person sport type
Mm.
because I'm super hard on myself.
Okay.
And I guess I wouldn't want it to have me in a team. But over the last couple of years, I also learned that climbing is not a team sport. I mean, I have my team around me, and without my team around me, I don't know where I would be. It doesn't matter if it's kind of my coach, physiotherapist, athletic trainer, or the other athletes of the Swiss team. They push me every day. They motivate me every day. For example, Sascha Lehmann, we've been training for the last I don't know how many years now, but the last 2 years, I would say, were super intense with the preparation for the Olympics. And it was great having like a partner like this training to achieve the same thing as I did. And yeah, so I need my team. So yeah.
And the next question is, Petra, do you have a song that from your childhood that you just have a very vivid memory of? So maybe it's a song maybe you played on violin, or a song your parents played, but for some reason it's like really ingrained in your head and it has a very strong connection to you.
It's not really one song,
Okay.
but definitely classic songs, especially Mozart and Bach, are kind of two composers I definitely connect to my childhood, because my parents also were musicians.
Okay.
My mom violin and my dad piano or fagot. I have no idea how to talk what the word is in English.
It's okay.
But so I was surrounded by music, classical music a lot, and grew up like this, and yeah.
And this is probably one of my favorite questions to ask my guest is, do you remember the first album you bought or asked for or downloaded?
No clue. I have no idea, because I've never really been that much into music, like the new music.
Okay.
When I was younger, I just used the stuff we had at home. I was more into audiobooks, so I can't tell you the first or the highlight for me always was every year we got the CDs from Harry Potter.
Oh, okay.
For Christmas, and that was like, wow, amazing. I love the audiobooks and listen to them all the time.
That definitely counts.
Yay.
Petra, what's one thing that most people might find surprising about you?
I would say that I was junior European champion in boxing.
I was actually going to ask you about this in another question, but can you tell us the story behind that? I mean, it's just like, you know, you're doing all these different sports, and then it's like, oh, by the way, I'm a, you know, boxing champion as well.
Well, it's actually an easy story to tell, because the coach of the boxing team was also a climber.
Oh, okay.
And he was in a climbing gym, and we were discussing together because I had some difficulties with motivation for climbing and dealing with the pressure around me. So he offered me to come to train with him, like as a, just to open up my mind, free up and everything, kind of get a new perspective on things. And yeah, so I started training boxing more for myself, and then somehow I just really liked it and enjoyed it. And in the end, I started going there 4 times a week, 5 times a week. And at the end, of course, also a boy was in the story.
Okay.
I fell in love to my first big love, who was a boxer. So it was easy to combine, and I could see him, and yeah, so it was super fun. And I actually just was on the phone before with my coach, like the boxing coach from then. So he's still a super important person in my life and supports me, and it's always great to hear from him. And actually, I would say he's one of the people who kept me with climbing throughout the more difficult times.
Great story. I gotta ask, what was your favorite punch to throw?
Like the backward spin, kind of where
like
you
a spinning back
turn.
fist?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, fancy, Petra. And also, I gotta ask too: Are you like a really good? Are you really good at skipping because of boxing?
I probably can do better, or I'm better in skipping than other athletes, I guess,
Okay.
because it was a normal routine. 20 minute
Mm-hmm.
skipping was
Hmm.
warm up for us.
Yeah.
So yeah, but it's fun. I love it.
Awesome.
But definitely from the times from boxing, yeah.
And okay, so I was listening to one of your interviews from before, and you mentioned I'm from Canada, so I gotta ask this question. You mentioned Montreal as one of these places that like really stood out and that you really enjoyed. Can you just let us know what about Montreal did it for you?
Well, I guess Canada itself is one of my favorite countries.
Okay.
Um, because of people I know from there.
Hmm.
So
Hmm.
Gordon MacArthur and his whole family, I've been visiting a couple of times. I've spent weeks with them, and I feel so at home. It's kind of like Switzerland, and at the same time totally different.
Okay.
And then I came to Montreal for the blog shop. Um, and I just kind of fell in love with the city. It's super nice how easy you can get around. There are so many fancy little restaurants and coffee shops, and the people are so nice and open.
Hmm.
You have all the seasons. So I was there in September, I guess, something
Okay,
around
so
there.
yeah,
And
fall, yeah.
yeah, the fall. And then
Hmm.
we went outdoor climbing for a little bit one
Hmm.
day. Unfortunately, just one day. But it was just beautiful to see the landscape
Hmm.
and to have the sea. And I don't know, it's so different, but still it feels like a big city, but like a small town at the same time.
Okay. Okay. All right, Petra. If you could travel back in time to any time period, what time period would that be, and why?
I don't know. It's I really enjoy my life at the moment.
Hmm.
It's for me it's
Like you're
so
just visiting though.
exciting being a professional athlete and
Hmm.
in oh just visiting. Okay.
Yes. Hmm.
Then probably childhood, like the age 8, I guess would be the best time.
And it
I'd
doesn't
go
have to
back
be.
to kind of have this innocent mind,
Hmm.
yeah, as a kid where you're so much yourself, you're not full of these ideas and technology from out
Hmm.
all of the world, I would say, and just having this ability to escape with your mind, this vivid fantasy where you can dive into a story, playing with your friends and
Hmm.
being 100% there. I It's super hard to have this as an adult, so I will wish to be a kid again and have this
Okay. We're
opportunity.
gonna switch pace a little bit, just less in-depth questions. But if you want to elaborate, feel free. So do you have a favorite sports
Okay.
team, Petra?
I don't know. No idea.
Okay.
At the moment, I'm fascinating from our Swiss ski team,
Okay.
so they're doing
Yeah.
a really great job.
Cats or
Okay.
dogs?
Cats and dogs. First a cat, then a dog.
Spring or fall?
Spring,
M&Ms
I
or
guess.
Skittles?
None. I don't like the mix of chocolate and nuts.
Okay.
Maltesers. I like Maltesers. Can I choose that one?
Yeah, yeah, you can do that. One of your favorite movies.
Intouchable.
If your next meal could be anything in the world, what would it be?
Cremeschnitte. It's a sweet thing, or I don't know the name in English. It's
That's okay.
kind of a dough, custard dough with icing.
Oh, okay.
Like kind of vanilla custard.
Would you prefer an adventurous vacation or a relaxing vacation?
Adventures for sure.
What's your go-to snack if you go to the corner store?
At the moment, probably rice crackers with chocolate topping.
What was your favorite childhood television show?
We didn't have a TV, so I can't say.
Movie, maybe?
Probably Cinderella. I always liked that one.
What was the most fun climb you have done? So just based purely on enjoyment.
Nutsa. It's in the Rocklands. I haven't climbed it. It's still on my pick list.
Okay.
But I love it.
Okay, what's your favorite move to do in climbing?
Triple dinos.
What's your favorite training exercise?
Campus board.
And your least favorite training exercise?
Hip mobility. There's like this one move or exercise we do where you have to bring your foot to your hand in a kind of sideways
Oh,
plank
okay.
position. I
Mm-hmm.
hate it. I'm so bad at
It
it.
sounds brutal.
Yeah.
Do you remember your first climbing shoe?
Yeah, it actually was like this little small green slipper. I have no idea which brand it was, but yeah, and we were cutting it open more and
Mm.
more as my feet were growing.
Would you rather add one more one arm pull up to your max reps or add 5 seconds to your front lever?
One arm pull up.
What song best describes your style of climbing?
Happy?
Sounds good.
I hope so. Kind of uplifting, or
Mhm,
that's at least my goal to have that I have this kind of feeling for
mhm,
climbing.
mhm. So 2021, Tokyo is right around the corner. Can you just tell
Yeah.
us the feeling you had when you qualified? Because I guess when you started climbing, the Olympics really weren't even on the radar because climbing, I guess, wasn't an event. So it's really cool that you're in the first Olympics. So can you just maybe like
Mhm.
tell us how it was like?
Well, the whole competition of the qualification was in 2019 in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, it was a roller coaster.
Okay.
It was emotionally ups and downs. My performance were up and down.
Mm-hmm.
I definitely did not perform to my best, but I
Mm-hmm.
performed really well at the moment I had to,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of exciting. And I had to wait till all climbers were done with the final. And I actually went out of the arena into a shopping mall because I couldn't watch them anymore. And I
Mm-hmm.
told my coach to text me when it's over. And
Okay.
he just sent me 5 rings.
Mm-hmm.
And I did not understand what he means. And I was like, shit, what does this mean?
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Now, obviously it's clear,
Mm-hmm.
but it was hard. It was a relief in the end because
Mm-hmm.
pressure was super high. I think I've never climbed under so much pressure as at this competition. And the first thing, it was relief, happiness, and exhaustion.
And just on that, kind of continuing on the topic of the Olympics. So obviously, it's going to be the first year that climbing is an event, and the sport is probably going to have a lot more spotlight, gain a lot more popularity. So I'm just wondering, where do you hope the sport goes, maybe in the next 5 years or so?
Well, I hope it's not going too far, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Especially what the community is concerned. We're such a good family kind
Mm-hmm,
community.
mm-hmm,
I really hope that it's gonna stay like this. Concerning the sport, I'm super excited to see where it goes because
mm-hmm,
I know the sport has a lot of potential, and I hope that more and more climbers can be professional climbers because
mm-hmm,
of the Olympics.
mm-hmm,
Really prepare like professional athletes to go
mm-hmm,
to the Olympics. And then 2024, the format already changed again.
mm-hmm,
So it's going to be exciting to see how that will have an effect on the style of climbing, because you
mm-hmm,
could see the last couple of years the speed actually made the athletes more dynamic, and kind of the body posture also changed a little bit. So I'm super excited to see where it will take us now. And then, I mean, for me, it's super exciting because in 2023 we will have the World Championships in Switzerland,
Oh, okay.
and that's gonna be something new,
Mm-hmm,
and it will give the Swiss climbing community a big boost, I hope.
mm-hmm,
But in general, I just hope that we all can have this friendly and familiar community
mm-hmm.
feeling, even though we're at the highest level. But I'm super positive. I know we can do it.
Petra, what's one thing you know now that you wish you knew when you were younger?
Hard to say, but I would say it's that less is more.
Okay.
That quality of training definitely overweighs the quantity of training. But even though my trainers did tell me that when I was younger, I did not believe it. And you also have to learn it for yourself. So it's a process. But yeah, I think that's something I definitely learned over time.
And Petra, well, what's one thing you would like to achieve in your lifetime? And it does not have to be limited to the realm of climbing.
My top priority goal is definitely to keep the passion for climbing as long as possible.
Okay.
Even though I'm way too old for any like high level climbing, I have role models like my parents who show
Mm-hmm.
me that it's just, or one can have so much fun and
Mm-hmm.
adventures together outdoor climbing. I'd love to have that.
And my last question is just what are some words of wisdom you try to live by, or just a saying that you enjoy?
Well, something very important in my life is I always try to see the things positive.
Mm-hmm.
I always try to find positive things, small things, even though it's a bad day, you always will find something good.
Mm-hmm.
For example, this morning I was just driving to training and there was like the sunrise and the sky was so beautifully red. And that's kind of just a moment where you can be in peace and enjoy and
Mm-hmm.
be happy or actually actively tell yourself that this is something special you don't see every day.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I think it helps me to get through harder periods, or also the whole situation with postponement of the
Mm-hmm.
Olympics. It helped me a lot to see the things positive.
So Petra, can you let us know where we can find you on social media and any, I guess, things coming up? Obviously, COVID has is putting a damper on that, but assuming things get better.
Well, you can follow me on Instagram, Petra_Klingler. I also have a brand new homepage,
Okay.
which is Petra Klingler altogether .com. You can also kind of send me emails over there. I have brand new autograph cards, so I'm excited about that. And you will find me definitely in Switzerland for the next couple of weeks for preparation. And after that, I'm excited to see where it takes me.
I speak for myself and probably people who watch this will be cheering for you at the Olympics. Best of luck.
Thank you so much.
Just do your best, and yeah,
I will.
hopefully you bring some hardware home for Switzerland.
Would be nice. We'll see. I'm excited.
Well,
Perfect.
thanks again, Petra, for joining me. It was really
Thank you as
great
well.
hearing. Yeah, it's great hearing all your stories and just learning more about you.
Thanks
All
so
right.
much.
Yeah, no problem. So, everyone, thank you so much for watching. Please subscribe for new videos every Tuesday and Friday. Take care of yourselves. Make sure you follow Petra on social media and cheer for her at the Olympics. And I'll see you next video.